Thank you very much for making a date on the marketplace. Welcome back. The central bank has launched a data center and disaster recovery site in Kumasi to create a robust business continuity system that will deal with disruptions in operations and possible reputational damages. Governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, says the center will serve as a backup to deal with IT-related disruptions. He noted the backup data center mirrors a similar system at the central bank's head office here in Accra. Prince Appiah reports.
The project started in 2016 under contractors Messrs. Supertech Limited, STL, and completed this year. The bank's business continuity plan envisaged the establishment of this high-end and emergency operating center. It is a state-of-the-art data center and disaster recovery site which meet international standards to deal with unexpected events that may lead to total shutdown of the bank's operations. Governor of Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, says it is because the bank cannot afford an operational shutdown under whatsoever circumstance.
Almost all operations of the bank require use of one IT facility or the other. In recognition of the criticality of the IT needs, the bank developed an information security management system strategy, which, among others, emphasizes preventive as well as corrective measures to deal with IT-related disruptions. Our mandate to formulate monetary policy to ensure price stability and our role as a banker to the government is such that the bank cannot afford an operational shutdown under whatever circumstance. Hence the need to construct a state-of-the-art data center and disaster recovery sites.
Reliable information systems are central to the successful delivery of the mandate of the central bank. Dr. Addison says the center will act as a backup in case of emergencies and deal with IT-related disruptions.
Wherever there is a disruption, the bank's IT disaster recovery plans are to be invoked to ensure that the bank delivers time-critical business functions. In the event that the head office data is not functional, the bank app system in Kumasi will be activated and the bank's network will resume, ensuring seamless operations.
O2 Force representative Akomfore Hene Nana Oheneba Akwesia Beye waged into the banking crisis. He said government must restrain former Bank of Ghana governors from establishing and owning their own banks to prevent a recurrence of the banking crisis. The governor and his team also paid a courtesy call on Asante Hene Otumfuo II after the ceremony. Prince Appiah reporting.
And in a related development, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has indicated the cybersecurity policy review will be completed by the end of the year. The policy is to protect the country from attacks on its cyberspace, especially as government embarks on a digitalization agenda to grow the economy. Dr. Bawumia was speaking at the launch of the 2018 Cybersecurity Awareness Month in Accra on the theme, A Safer Digital Ghana.
Indeed, a robust digital ecosystem is essential if we are to achieve our vision of Ghana beyond aid. The fundamental importance of all the innovations the government is putting in place is centered on reducing the transactions cost of our everyday lives and making the life of the citizens better. For that reason alone, there is every reason to ensure that the systems, networks, and processes that govern the use and access to these technologies are reliable and predictable. For government, cybersecurity is a public good. The benefits are shared. It is therefore an obligation that the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Communications, takes this seriously.
Meanwhile, Communications Minister Esla Usu-Ekufo has highlighted the need for more awareness to be created on cyber risks following recent breaches. She's hopeful it will be considered in the 2019 budget.
I have received dozens of complaints from persons who have been defrauded through mobile money scams. We have records of cases in which SMEs have collapsed because hackers intercepted their financial transactions through emails and they lost their entire capital. The identities of many members of parliament and ministers have been cloned through fake accounts used to defraud unsuspecting citizens online. Their identities also being cloned. Fake news is spreading like wildfire on social media networks, and that also poses a security threat. We will have to monitor social media too.
Let's move away from IT now and do some energy stories. An international energy firm, Eni Ghana, has rejected attempts to describe their existing gas contract with Ghana as the most expensive among similar contracts the country has ever entered into. Some energy experts have advocated a renegotiation of the gas purchase agreement with the Italian oil company. Eni, with regards to production on the offshore Cape 3 Point integrated oil and gas project. The current agreement prices gas from the Sankofa fields at $9.08 per 1 million British thermal units, as against the gas contract with the West Africa Gas Pipeline Company, which also pegs gas sales at $8.03 per 1 million British thermal units. Here's an exclusive interview with Managing Director of Eni Ghana, Juan Carlos.
First of all, you cannot compare the domestic gas with any imported gas. Now you mentioned Nigeria, but can be any other source of imported gas. Why you cannot? Because the peculiarity of our gas, of the Ghanaian gas, is that the price itself, whatever number, final number will be, it includes a portion that it goes back to country. It goes back to the budget of the country. So any given price, it has to be calculated in terms of net cost for the country. For the domestic gas, for example, for our domestic gas, the final net cost for the country is in a range of $4 per million BTU. $4 is much cheaper than any other source of gas you can find in any way you want to import. So we also did a little bit more. We calculated in any given year how much can be the savings that the use of domestic gas can create. Well, again, I use some big numbers, but just to give an idea. And if we look at the expected demand of power for next year, the use or the full use of OCTP, of Ghana gas, will allow to save about 40% on energy cost. It means that every single day that the country is able to use the gas, the domestic one, we will save about $1 million per day. So that's on the cost only. The other element which we have to keep in consideration is that when you talk about something domestic, the full value, the full chain of value, start, finish in Ghana. It's not when you import. Now, we can make various examples from goods, from chocolate, from whatever you want. The importing a good or making and buying a good here in Ghana has completely different impact on the value in the country. So the domestic gas is a gas that comes from investment in the country, which has created works and development in the country. So it's really impossible to compare that with an imported gas, which creates value to some other country.
Are you implying that, I mean, because you're producing here, you have considered all other cost factors, and in view of that, you are more cheaper than what we were originally, getting from our Nigerian partners?
Yeah, considering the two effects. I repeat, one is the part of the portion of the cost is not really a price, is a money that goes back to the country as a tax, royalties, GMPC share. You know, GMPC is a national company. They got their own part of the price. So what we don't have with any other imported gas. That's one portion. The second is what you are correctly saying, that there is then the induced indirect effect on the economy being domestic. So the two things together make the advantage of the domestic gas really not comparable with any imported gas.
But let me ask you, would your volumes be enough to feed all the plants that need gas to run on, such that if you look at the total volumes, if you are in full operation, we don't need to even add anything from anywhere?
Okay, our gas alone, probably not. But we have to consider in the full mix, we have, in Ghana, we have the Jubilee 10 gas, which is associated gas, so it's cheaper than our, which is non-associated gas and require its own facilities. Then you have all the electricity produced by the thermoelectric plant. So putting together all these elements with the Sankofa gas, the answer is yes. There is not, in the close future, a necessity to import any other gas. Also because we're starting with 180 million scf per day, but we have capacity, we have in the reservoir, in the facilities, the capacity to go up to 210, and in the future also to 216 with very minor modification work. So the gas is there. The system has to get mature and ready to use it.
Which means that you're ready to even drill more wells? Is that what you're talking about?
No, for the gas, for the volumes that I'm mentioning, we already have a very huge capacity with the current wells. We are studying potential increase that will go farther than the numbers that I gave you. But already with the 4, because we have 4 gas wells at the moment, we can go to 210 million immediately without doing anything. And then with minor works, we can go up to 230 million.
This is live on the marketplace with me, Emmanuel Abuaji Riafi. And let's do another interesting development here. The Global Women's Professional and Business Exchange Conference is scheduled to take off in Accra between October 4 and 8. The program will bring together many business and professional women from all over the world to leverage their experiences in business, finance, and legal, among others. It is organized by the U.S.-Ghana Chamber of Commerce and is being partnered by Joy Business. I have in the studio with me this afternoon the president of the U.S.-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, Florence Tolson-Hart. She also leads a wealth management team at International Investment Bank in the U.S., Merrill Lynch, and is a certified financial planner. Rose is going to tell us more about the Global Women's Professional and Business Exchange Conference. You're welcome to the marketplace, madam.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, before we even look at this conference, this landmark conference that is coming up, now, what do investors outside, what are their concerns about Ghana?
Well, I mean, definitely Ghana is making a lot of strides in the international market for a developing country. I know there's a lot of interest in, especially some of the bonds that Ghana issues. Okay. Just based on what I know, if there are any concerns at all, sometimes it has to do with the depreciation of the city and how it erodes some of the gains. I've had people come to me who have sought my advice in investing in some of the bonds, and by the time you do the calculation and factor, so the currency risk is one of the things that is an issue for a lot of people.
Do they have confidence in our economy, so to speak?
Well, so Ghana's economy is doing well, but the level of transparency is not like buying a U.S. bond, right? Okay. So there are political risk, geopolitical risk, or currency risk, credit risk, all of these risks that are a little more of a concern when you buy bonds from developing countries. But I think amongst the developing countries, I think that Ghana bonds, I know a lot of mutual fund companies that would look at bonds in Ghana because we are a bright light, I guess.
Interesting. Now, recently, the U.S. has hiked its interest rates or the lending rates to other commercial banks. What does this mean to Ghanaian investors who are investing in the U.S. markets?
Well, so I'll take that from two angles, right? Those who already have the bonds and those who are going to buy the bonds. If you have a bond already, the interest rate hike is not good for you because bond prices and interest rate move in opposite directions. When interest rates go up, the prices of bonds drop. The reason is very simple. If you have a bond that is paying 5% and new bonds are being issued at 6%, anybody coming into the market to buy a bond will buy the 6% and not the 5%. So the one that has a 5% will have to sell your bond at a discount to be able to be competitive. But if you are getting into the market now, that is a good thing for you because you are getting bonds at a higher interest rate than what it used to be before. So I guess it depends on where you are in the spectrum.
All right, very well. Now, so what exactly do people out there think about Ghana's economy, or how do you see the economy currently?
Well, I think that clearly we've come a long way, but we still have some work to do. I think that one of the things, as I talk to people who want to invest in Ghana, is that sometimes we have all these nice institutions and structures that sound great on paper, but the practice, the actual experience tends to be a little different and can be very frustrating sometimes, despite the best intentions of the people in power or the government. So somehow there is some disconnect between the policy and the implementation of it. Right. And so that is one of the things that is very frustrating. I also think that they're doing a lot of good things, I think, now with the establishment of the tax identification number. I think the whole American economy is based on credit. To the extent that we can have a system that mimics that allows people to be held accountable for some of the financial decisions that they make. So if you have a situation where you can establish credit, that will have a ripple effect in the economy because then it's easier for people to lend money. And if it's easier for people to do that, hopefully you will drive down the default rate because now you are going to be held accountable for whatever. And
you like the way the governments are attacking the corruption issue and ensuring transparency in all transactions so far?
Well, I think that corruption is a process, right? So I think that it is very difficult to say there is no corruption at all. But I think that it is a confidence you give investors as to what so is the trajectory, right? So if the government is taking steps to make sure that certain things are being kept or making it possible for people not to circumvent whatever the laid down processes are, that is a good thing.
All right, let's talk about the Global Women's Professional and Business Exchange Conference. Tell us about this conference. What exactly is it?
So basically, we are a Chamber of Commerce. I'm the president of the U.S. Ghana Chamber of Commerce. And what we do is to just bring money to Ghana and from the United States and back, right? We want to promote business. So this is one aspect of what we're trying to do, focusing on women, because women increasingly control a lot of wealth. I'm sure your wife buys your clothes and does so many things for you. So women are the decision makers when it comes to where some of these funds are spent. So we have this economic power we have to harness. Everybody is talking about helping women, but it comes to a point where we also have to come together and move the ball forward. So the whole point of the conference is to come together, talk about issues affecting women, but we want to provide mentoring, one-on-one coaching. We want to provide the business partnerships, and we also want to provide the networking. Additionally, we also want to impact the young girls who are the next female professionals and business leaders, so that hopefully it doesn't take them as long as it took some of us to get to where we are. And so that is what the conference is going to do.
All right. So who are coming to this conference and who are addressing the conference?
Oh, we have top women. We have women in business. We have top Supreme Court judges. We have business executives who are business strategists. We have people that own businesses that have actually done the work, who can tell you about their experiences and show you how to get to where you're trying to get to. Some of them were born in Ghana. So this is not a group of foreign women coming to Ghana to tell Ghanaian women how to run their business. But if the world is getting global, we want to make sure that Ghanaian women not only have access to businesses here, but they're also networking.
Because I was concerned about the fact that, you know, we have different platforms in the Western world and we have different kind of operational setups here in our world. So how would the connect be like? I mean,
well, so basically right now, if you talk to a lot of institutional companies, like right now, social responsible investing, ESGs, right? It's very big. People want to help women businesses. There is no database of women businesses. So one of the things the conference will do will be to come up with a global digital directory that we will share with all of these institutions, so that if you want to do business with women, here is the directory. So it becomes part of your database to accelerate the pace of economic development for women.
All right. So what exactly will people or participants attending this conference take away or take home?
So I know for a fact that they will come up with new skills, right? We are going to do something on the value of networking and unleashing the power of that. We're also going to do something on how to brand your business from start to finish. We are going to do stuff on finance, how to protect your wealth, how to position your business in a way to get the most favorable outcomes when you go to apply for loans and stuff like that. So it's not going to be something that we talk about ideals, but we're going to have a lot of actionable information that women can take to move their business to the next level.
So if people want to come, how do they get there? Are you selling tickets?
Yes, we do. We have worked very hard to subsidize the cost of attendance for Ghanaians. So the tickets are available at Joy FM. If you come to the front desk at Joy FM, you can pick up a ticket. We also have a dinner dance in the evening for those that want to attend that too. So I think that you can also go online. We have the Global Women X.org website. But I would encourage all women to come out, and the men, right?
Not left out as well.
Come on, we love men, you know. We want the men to come too, because, listen, we gave birth to you. We don't hate you, right?
I know, right?
So, I want you to come and support the women in what they're doing, because I know men also have, actually, the companies that are supporting the conference are male-dominated.
Thank you very much.
So there is hope for us.
All right, so it is the Global Women's Professional and Business Exchange Program scheduled to take off on the 4th of October to the 8th of October at the Kempinski Hotel right here in Accra.
And it starts at 9 o'clock on Saturday.
9 o'clock in the morning. Very well. My guest has been the U.S.-Ghana Chamber of Commerce President Florence Thorson Hart. Away from that, the Ghana Airports Company Limited says passenger traffic to the Accra-Kumasi route has increased from 400 to 700 since Passion Air entered into the market. Managing Director John Atefa disclosed this when the new domestic carrier Passion Air took delivery of its new aircraft to Ghana. He was speaking during a ceremony to usher in the second aircraft.
So the aviation industry in Ghana is gradually growing and expanding, and today we took delivery of a new aircraft by new airline in Ghana, Passion Air, and it's expected to help enhance and boost the aviation industry in Ghana. Over here, the traditional water salute welcomes the new aircraft to Ghana. The 78-seater aircraft becomes the second by Passion Air after a successful operation since it started in August this year. It has since increased from 42 flights to 62 flights weekly. Distribution manager Razak Awudu has been explaining the operation of the Bombardier -8 Q400.
The acceptance of the Q400 by the traveling public has been overwhelming and has encouraged us to bring in a second aircraft to further expand our domestic outreach. We have heard the clamor of the people of Tamale, who are eagerly waiting for us to start the Tamale route, and I'm thrilled to announce that our first commercial flight to Tamale will operate on Tuesday, 2nd October 2018.
And on that note, we draw the curtains down on this afternoon's edition of the Marketplace. It's been great having you on board. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We are feeling good afternoon.